Glorious day to you, my friends. Sihukutura ara hisanati atara. The mic works today. Hisanata harayata. I did a mic check. Isatita uta arhututu. Welcome to day number 5 of SwaHūm, this sacred valley alignment. And even though I cannot be in the sacred valley and in Lake Titicaca, the sacred valley is inside of us, this SwaHūm, this essence of who we really are, our inner being, and with this knowing that we are this inner being that is not separate from our conscious mind, that when we align our conscious mind with our heart mind, that the real SwaHūm, our ability to command this universe, unfolds when we put down our masks, when we put down our roles that everybody else tells us that we should do. And we drop the ideas of who we think we are. No friction, no effort, which is the same thing in the description and in the pinned comment. I was supposed to be at Aramu Muru today, the Stargate in Puno at Lake Titicaca. The legend is that Aramu Muru, an Incan priest, carrying a disc of pure gold, ran to the Stargate because the conquistadors were taking all the gold. He ran to the Stargate, deposited the giant golden solar disk in the Stargate, and then went through it himself, never to be seen again, documented by the conquistadors who witnessed it. And now the Stargate bears his name. So, now this frequency required to activate the Stargate is the same frequency that we're doing by embodying self. Everything that we're doing in this SwaHūm series, it's frictionless. No effort, no friction. Just sit while you sit and breathe while you breathe. From the thread of the mind, the heart forms the weave. It's as simple as that. We don't get into the heart by trying, by effort. We cannot will our way into the heart center. Our heart center is simply a place that we just find ourselves when we let go of what we know, when we let go of what should be, when we let go of all these things. And even the effort to attempt to let go stops us from getting there. Which is why when we just sit here and just sit and just breathe and focus our awareness on the breath and allow our breath and our heartbeat and the sounds of our body to consume our awareness, everything else goes away. And then without any effort and without any trying, we find ourselves in our heart center, just being our true authentic self. Unapologetic, authentic, being ourselves without our mask, without trying to perform, just being who you are, who I am, who we are, who our heart says we are, not what our mind wants to try to control. Simply aligning the conscious mind with the heart mind, allowing them to merge, not by trying, not by conscious allowing, simply by consuming one's awareness with any particular topic. It can be breath. For once we get into the heart center and we understand how to focus our awareness without any attachment, our mind can do anything. Until then, maybe we just dance our soul's dance and sing our soul's song. In that way, we're having fun with everything that we do, that we're in joy, we're in ease, and we're in satisfaction. We're in love with life. And this is all this Samavriti, talking about it, practicing it. It's not like there's any real magic in that. It just ties it to, I'm focusing on something and one thing. And when we focus on this in-breath, the truth of the breath, which when we're focused on the breath, our breath becomes a vehicle for our consciousness. As we breathe, just by simply breathing in, we are breathing in life into our spiritual engine. We're breathing in life into our conscious mind. We are breathing life into everything that we're doing, all of our manifestations, all of our creations, everything that we try to do. By being present with the breath becomes presence. We become presence itself. At the beginning, we're inviting in the universe and the life force energy that is outside there. When we do this enough, we just might understand that this breath is inside us the whole time. This breath that happens all on its own, but when we attach our intention to it and allow it to consume our awareness, this is when the dance happens and the magic happens. Not by trying, simply by being aware of the breath. And the second phase of Samavriti pranayama is when after we breathe in, we simply hold our breath. In the stillness of our thoughts, in the stillness of our breath, becomes the presence of the work that polishes our mani, our jewel, our solar plexus chakra, manipura. Not by trying to work, but by holding this life force, by setting our intention to hold the breath and allowing the breath, the silence, to consume our awareness. It is as simple as that. No more meaning needs to be applied to it. We are focused on breath and holding the breath. And then we just so happen to be residing in the heart center as our true, authentic self. This next phase, when we're done holding our breath, there's only one thing to do, and that's decide to breathe out. And it's a simple decision. But when we're focused on the breath, we focused on the in-breath, and then we focused on holding the breath. And as we focus on the breath out, our awareness is simply shining our light, our innate light, this inner light. It's shining out into every aspect of our awareness. It's this most simple thing that we can do simply by breathing. And if we breathe with intention, the only thing that's different is our conscious mind notices it. That is it. Our conscious mind is aware of the breath that has consumed our awareness. That is it. There's nothing magical about this, except this is magical. The magic is when we realize that we are in presence. When we realize that the effort is gone. When we realize that the mask and the roles are gone. And the only thing left is the true you. It's the only thing that's left. Once this realization happens, not by trying, it just happens. That this shine just happens by breathing out. We are giving back to the universe just by simply shining our light, just by simply breathing out. There's no overthinking. There's nothing to remember. There's nothing to do. Your body breathes automatically for you. But when we align our conscious mind with our breath, it aligns with our heart space, our heart mind. It's as simple as that. And after we're done breathing out, the only decision to make is to hold the breath or to breathe in. It's as simple as that. The same value that we received when we held our breath with a full set of lungs is the same value that we receive. That's what sama vritti means. Same way, same value. As we just sit there in the emptiness of our lungs, in the emptiness of our breath, in the emptiness of sound, being fully present. This is the magic, the non-magic. It's the way of no way. It's the goal of no goal. Maybe, just maybe, we'll realize that nothing else is here except the true you. No mask, no role, no effort, no friction, no try. Just breath. And then stillness. And then, just like when we were awareness itself, when it decided to dance, when it decided to sing, when awareness decided to Om, it decided to live. And how do we do that? After we sit there in Bahya Kumbhaka, holding the empty, we simply decide to breathe. Every time we consciously decide to breathe, we decide to live. And after we transition and become a part of the vortex, we can decide to live again after this death. And then we decide to incarnate again. And we decide to breathe. This is the only magic, the KISS method, keeping it spiritually simple. And once we understand, there's nothing to really do. There's no one to impress. There is no have-tos. That is the freedom. Our freedom of choice. Our sovereign choice. Not to play the role of what everyone else thinks that we should do. When we call it listening to our heart, but really what it's doing is calming every other thought, allowing the breath to consume awareness is a vehicle for stillness and presence in the true you. Once we get good at it, we no longer need the breath. The mind itself is aware enough that it can become whatever. This is the whole idea of the koshas, this Annamaya kosha, this layer of the physical, the food that we eat, all these manifestation things that we wish to create and bring to us, this dependency of this physical realm. And then when we start to utilize the breath, the prana, this pranamaya kosha becomes more relevant to us as a vehicle. As an athlete, we train and we breathe and we eat and we sleep and we rest and we train again. Eat, sleep, race, repeat. And this food, this Annamaya kosha, is important. Once we start learning that the breath is equally important, we take off the clothing of the physical, and we become this energetic being, focused on prana and the energy in the pranamaya kosha. once we realize that we can sit in our lotus of awareness without having to focus on the breath. Simply dropping in to being. No expectations. No attachment. We are the mind itself. Where our conscious mind and the heart mind have unified. Patanjali called this samadhi. And then we can take off this layer of the mind, where we simply, this manomaya kosha. When we release the layers of the mind and we enter in states of meditation where we focus on Atlantis, Aramu Muru, a Stargate, the chakras of the planet, whatever it is. This Ajna, Ajna, as some call it, this third eye is not a place. This eye is the storm, the vortex of our creation. This is up in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, this realm of inner wisdom, where we can tap into all the stories throughout all of time. We can tap into the Akashic records. We can tap into any history that has ever happened, any thought that has ever happened in any person at any time. In this Vijnanamaya Kosha, in the essence of Ajna, the allowing of this wisdom, focusing on it and trusting what we receive. Not by trying to get the information, because we've learned to allow it, whatever it is, to consume our awareness. And it becomes our reality. It becomes our reality. And we know it. And then we can change the Akashic record. All these things are possible. And going to the Stargate, Aramu Muru, or any of the other Stargates. Simply going there, focusing the mind and letting go, being it. And then, when we take off that layer, the piece of clothing, whether you call it a t-shirt and underwear, it does not matter. This Vijnanamaya Kosha that reveals that the only thing left is your own pure bliss, your bliss of existence, your bliss of creation. It's all this dance is you and your spiritual engine, which is really you, dancing your dance of joy, singing your song of joy. That's it. That's it. And when we can be unapologetic about dancing our dance and singing our song and loving who we love, no matter what, that is freedom. We are unstoppable. We are unlimited because we're living with no conditions except the conditions that we put forth in our own lives. Conditions are merely focus. That is it. That is it. So I thank you, my friends, for sharing in my highest bliss. Asati harta arnaha ka'etaha. So shine on. Shine on from your inner being. Shine on with your inner being. Maybe even shine on as your inner being. Unapologetically as the authentic, true you. We get there with no effort, with no friction, with no attachment, as we sit while we sit and breathe while we breathe. From the thread of the mind, the heart forms the weave. It creates our reality. With that, how make it a great day? With that, how can we not make it a great day? And it's, after all this, we can't leave it up to anyone else. So Hotor Arta Shiha Nasa Akatadaha Ti'a.